another episode of State of the Bulldogs. Sam, Mike, Jeb, and Grant. Hope everybody enjoyed our talk with SoCon John last week. It was fun to get an outside perspective, someone who follows the conference super closely and is a die-hard basketball fan and football. I mean, John knew basically a lot about a lot. But Grant, Mike, Jeb, basketball preview part 2, diving into the roster, the schedule, and everything Samford. Let's start with actually, Grant, you let us know what we're going to start with. You're going to kind of lead this basketball preview.
Sure. Let's start with a little bit of last year. Samford returned just 2 guys from last year. I want to see if y'all can guess to see which guys to transfer from last year's team and what new team they're on this year.
Oh, all right, baby, let's go.
Kind of go back to our little Jeopardy I think we got going on here. Let me share this real quick.
Yeah. Who won the Jeopardy? I couldn't remember.
That's a good question.
It definitely wasn't me. I know that.
I led for a moment and then crashed. I think it was Grant.
It's a tortoise and the hare.
No,
Auburn
yeah.
And the Knicks. Where else did Charles play?
No, this is what they play in Inside the NBA. For those that don't know, it's with I won't use my announcer voice. Who he played for? We won't do that. Okay, first guy here, Jaden Brownell. Where's Jaden Brownell playing basketball this year?
Southern Cal.
That's a good question.
Ding ding, Michael is correct. Jaden Brownell is at USC with former Auburn guy Chad Baker-Marzara. What a roster that Eric Musselman's got out there, and
that's a roster.
USC. Yeah, a lot of bigs. Okay. Guy number 2, Lucas Walls. Where's Mr. Walls playing this year? There we go.
Somewhere
in Radford.
The weirdest landing spot.
Good old Radford, who's got some money behind them. That's why they got a nice roster with their new G League coach coming in. Guy number 3, where's Isaiah West playing basketball this year?
Belmont, right?
There we go. Belmont. He was
in Nashville.
On fire.
Yep, started in Nashville at Vandy, transferred to Samford, and now is at Belmont and back in Nashville. We'll see how that goes. Larry Olenka, where is Larry playing his basketball this year?
No idea.
Somewhere obscure.
He took a visit. He took a visit to UConn, which Jeremy was like, really, huh? And sure enough, he ended up at FIU. Larry is playing with Florida Air National.
Did not know they played basketball.
They play basketball. They're in the American Conference. And our 5th guy, Riley Allenspot. Where is Riley at for this upcoming season?
George Mason.
There you go, George Mason, the same team that Samford jumped off
the opponent.
Exactly. Samford went from Cancun to Fairfax, Virginia to play George Mason, the NIT. So yeah, just a look back on some guys. That's 5 of the 8 that were on the team last year that have transferred elsewhere. So yeah, there you go. Good job.
It's tough. Some of those names, whatever, but a couple of them, hate to lose them.
Yeah.
Especially reading your basketball preview, which everybody needs to check out. Great read on stateofthebulldogs.com. Grant broke down the upcoming season, basically wrote out what we're going to be discussing tonight. But tough seeing the timeline, Grant, where everybody announced that they were returning. We were like, all right, we're going to be locked and loaded, and then boom, we're not.
It happened, and then the whole coaching cycle we didn't get into, which led Bucky going to Texas A&M and Lenny coming here. So yeah, so there's some guys who left, not involved in guys we talked about. Trey Forts at Michigan State this year. Josh Holloway, we know, is at Texas A&M with Bucky and the rest of the Samford guys down there. And then Julian Brown had to go to a D2 school because he was a late portal ag. He was going to go to. Anyway, who cares? He was going to go to somewhere up north and then ended up at a D2 school. So
interesting.
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, Sam, I was reading that in Grant's article, and basically from March 8th, an entire month, we go from having Bucky to not having Bucky, and having guys saying that they were staying to not staying. Yeah. March 8th to April 8th, and the whole program shifted. So.
Yeah, everyone was posting, we're coming back. It's like, is this real? And sure enough, all 4 of them, yeah, we're coming back. We're doing this. And then sure enough, right before Masters weekends when Bucky gets the job. But
it's tough. It's tough out here. But yeah, Grant, do we want to hit roster? I guess we'll go roster first. Let's go into the roster.
Let's go roster. We've touched.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we touched on a schedule before a few weeks ago. We can go back on that too. But who is back, or who is returning for this season, 2 guys, you can count them on 2 fingers. Zion Wilburn, back from last year, the former 3-star recruit, transferred in from Arizona, came to Samford as a freshman from a prep school in Arizona. So Zion is back. And then Caleb Harrison, who redshirted last year, he is returning, 6'9" redshirt freshman from nearby Huntsville, played for one of Bucky's former assistants over at Huntsville High School. So those are the 2 guys that are returning for this year, both getting some time in the rotation. Zion started in the Alabama A&M exhibition, so those 2 guys returning for this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's only 2, but I guess 2 is better than 0, especially with the coaching change in the portal era.
Exactly.
I want to talk about Caleb for a minute, Grant. So when your projected starting lineup, Caleb is not in there. What was Caleb's expectations starting wise this year had Bucky stayed? Like, assuming we don't get another big man in the portal, do you think he starts, or is he really a third-year guy?
I think he would have to be a kind of a third-year guy because, again, back to that timeline, would have had Jaden and Riley would have both been back technically if everything remained the same. So would have had those 2. He could have got time at the 4. Who knows where they got a guy in the portal. So, yeah, he's basically obviously a true freshman coming in, even though redshirting last year without having any on-court experience. But
because we were excited about him. I mean, he was pretty highly touted high school recruit for Samford to get. So we'll see how he develops.
Yeah, he had that game in the preseason against Cooper Flagg's high school team where he dropped like 20 and like
that's right.
10 and 12, something like that. So, yeah, that's where that kind of hype a little bit came from. So going down the list, guys who are new this year, we'll roll through this quick, and then you guys can touch on whichever one you want to talk about. Isaiah Campbell Finch, a true freshman who signed with Bucky's staff, ended up staying, signed with Samford. Dejon Humphrey comes over from Bowling Green. Humphrey is out for the season due to his torn Achilles he suffered in the Alabama A&M exhibition. A guaranteed starter. Lenny talked about that with me at the Dogs After Dark event. We'll play that clip in a little bit. Jaden Booth, transfer guard from Florida Southern. Keaton Norris, a transfer point guard from Wright State. His brother, Caden Norris, comes over from Illinois State. Justin Bornstad, a 6'8" forward from Union, a D2 school. He along with Keaton and Cade actually were Lipscomb signees before coming over to Samford with Acuff going down the roster. JD Gossett, a true freshman, same school as Caleb Harrison, Huntsville High School. Zion Wilburn's back. Cam Martin, a sophomore guard from Long Beach State, is new. And here's the prize possession. Dylan Faulkner, 6'9", 230, forward from Lipscomb, had the great run last year, but got hurt with a broken foot. He'll be back. Jackson Pollard, another 6'7", freshman, and then Zach Lamey, a transfer walk-on from Lipscomb, and then Will Shaver comes over from UAB, another big man to help in that front court rotation.
All right. So I was excited about Dejon Humphrey. But unfortunately, he's going to be out. So we can talk about him next year.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I think Jaden Booth's going to be a fun guy to watch for me. And obviously, I'm intrigued by Will Shaver.
Yeah.
For biased reasons.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see if he could work his way into the starting lineup or be a good supporting guy off the bench, 6th, 7th man. So
he is intriguing. Grant, you wrote that he was a former 3-star recruit. Did he start out at UNC?
Yep.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Is it? I mean, it's kind of cool that we have a UNC
sick.
guy on the team.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like when football gets a player from Alabama, they're probably going to be pretty good, even if they're not, starting worthy or bench worthy at an Alabama or a UNC.
Who was that big
that'll
man
be
at Samford when we were there that transferred from UConn after they won the national championship? He was like 7'2" and just didn't play.
Who was that?
Cannot remember that guy's name. Grant, he probably would have
good
been
memory though, Mike.
He would have been a couple years older than you, Grant.
Let's see. I can look it up. That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know.
Just pouring some water on the fire Jeb and I are trying to start over here.
Yeah, well, I think when you just you go from UNC to UAB, your minutes don't really improve, and then you go to Samford. There's some question marks there, but he was fun to watch.
Yeah,
he dropped some dimes in that exhibition game for sure.
Didn't he just have a point though?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it was like 5 boards, 3 assists. Yeah.
Those 3 assists were pretty swanky.
All right.
Yeah, and that was his first kind of like real basketball because he only played like a handful of games at UAB, then had some time away, some off court stuff kind of going on. He's still trying to find his way back in. So yeah, he is an intriguing piece to see what Samford can kind of get out of him. And it's a good start seeing what we saw in the A&M exhibition.
I mean, he's 6'10" with tattoos. Feel like we got some edge there, which is what you need because we're going to be playing some big
Samford
boys.
edge.
Some big boys in the SoCon, especially on well, I guess we're talking about ETSU. They don't have as many big guys this year, but I'm sure somebody will.
Does this? We kind of talked about this last week, but do we feel like this is kind of a bigger team than we've kind of been rolling with over the last 5 seasons?
It does, like on average. There aren't.
Yeah, on average.
I don't think we're on the high end as tall as we have been, but there's more 6'8" guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
Less Dallas Graziani guys.
Which I think could provide more length though on the defensive side and across there might obviously a different system. I think let's talk about Zion Wilburn though.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Because he's staying with the team. He's been with came into Samford as a freshman.
Yeah.
Bucky recruited him. He's staying.
Showed flashes.
Bucky, I think, Grant, you wrote that. Well, Bucky said that he was kind of further along than AJ Stanton McRae was. I guess as a freshman or a sophomore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm excited to just see him because he played pretty well on the defensive side in the exhibition game. I mean, maybe his offense needs a little more work. Maybe we'll see a little bit more from him this season, which I'm kind of excited about. But could he be kind of like are we looking at maybe a guy that could blossom into a Jermaine Marshall type?
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And you talked about it. Like the defensive numbers are there. He's going to be really good defensively. The offense will come along as he gets grown in the system. He won't have to throw up as many threes kind of in the Bucky system with like free reign, ready to do what you want, basically. Stay more fluid with the offense. But again, the defensive numbers are there. So it'll be exciting to see him kind of grow. I didn't expect to see him start in the A&M exhibition. We'll see if that's the case come tomorrow. But I mean, 6'5", long arms, super long. So yeah, Samford does have some length, and Zion will be a big part of that.
Grant, I'm curious, did you slide him into the starting rotation on your projected lineup because of the Humphrey injury? Or do you think he would have started over Jackson Pollard, who, of course, was injured in that exhibition game?
Yeah, that's a good question. I went back and forth trying to decide. I think I just did slide Zion in there with the Humphrey injury because obviously Keaton and Jaden are going to start no matter what. Then it's kind of like that 3 spot was kind of iffy with Humphrey out. And I even asked Lenny about it the other day, and I can play that for you right now. It's a good point. Just talking about what their kind of plan is with Dejan going down and what the impact was of that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, that was a big loss. No doubt. We had to kind of rethink some things. Probably going to play a little bigger. We're going to move Judson to the 3 and play a little bigger with it. We got Jackson Pollard back, so that'll help. But we're going to be a work in progress because we were pretty satisfied with where we're on wings on the perimeter with Keaton at the point, Jaden at the 2, and Dejan at the 3. So now we've had to kind of go back and try to figure some things out. It'll be fluid, I think, as we go through the year. I mean, we're going to play a lot of basketball between November 3rd and December 7th and have a lot more intel. Yeah, we'll have to have, we'll probably play 10 guys to start with. And so there's going to be some young guys that are going to crack at it. And we're going to redshirt J.D. Gossett. So we'll have 11 scholarship players. And as long as we stay healthy, I'm fine with that. We'll settle into about 7 or 8 when we get the conference play, but it'll be 10. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
He's talking about. You go ahead, Sam.
I was just saying 10 guys in the rotation to start out.
I mean, and he's talk about
guys with equal ability, or not equal ability, but relatively equal ability, and you got to figure out who's going to be your dudes.
Yeah, and he's talking about sliding Justin Bornstead, the transfer from Union, sliding at the 3. That's a pretty big 3 at 6'8", 200. I mean, he's got length. If you throw him at the 3, Jackson 6'7", who's 6'7" at the 4, and then Dill at the 5. That's a good question. I'm interested to see how big you can kind of play that way with Judson at the 3 and Jackson playing more of a kind of a pick and pop role guy at the 4.
I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves, but that is probably what I'll be looking at most in the Tulane game. Is like not how crisp we are and whatnot, but just how athletic these guys seem. Because the Georgia Tech scrimmage was close, but from what I heard, it did not go well. But who knows what that means? Plus, it's Georgia Tech. Who knows if they're going to be good? Maybe they will. I don't know. That's the intrigue at first is because as far as expectations for the season, we have no idea, right? But if we come out in the first few weeks and we look like we can shoot the ball, run the floor, play solid defense, then Lenny's system that can develop. That can grow your expectation as the season goes on. But if we come out, guys aren't that quick, getting torched, then you lower your expectations a little bit.
Definitely think
to
it's
that point,
that might
Keaton
struggle. They might struggle against some of the Arkansas type matchups, right? I mean, they're not going to keep up.
Yeah.
I don't think the expectations that we've had in the past with Bucky are really going to be there for this team. But I do think once we settle into SoCon play, they'll have time to kind of figure out some of those quirks in their system. And like one thing I was kind of concerned about with the exhibition was the turnovers, especially from Keaton Norris, who's kind of known as being a pretty solid distributor. But I think a lot of that is just, it's an exhibition. It's really early in the season. You're trying to figure out how other guys play and where they're going to be so that you're not, I think there's a lot of that you'll figure out in these early games that might look kind of ugly, but should settle in nicely come SoCon play.
So is Dylan Faulkner going to be the podcast favorite player this season?
Jeb, you always seem to have different
now?
favorite players than we do. He may be your favorite. I don't know. I like guys who shoot.
I'm not saying that he's my favorite. I'm not saying he's my favorite. I'm saying, is he going to become the podcast favorite?
Maybe.
Like, are we talking about all these other guys, and then it's going to be the Dylan Faulkner conversation every other week?
Jeb, let's put it this way. If Dylan Faulkner is our favorite player, then I think we're going to have a very good season.
I think Jaden Booth might be, from my perspective, the most exciting because I feel like he has probably the potential to take it up a notch above Faulkner, but he also probably has a lower downside, a lower low than Faulkner will have, or a lower floor, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Does it worry you at all that there's a lot of these cats who are injury prone? It's almost like we're bargain shopping on the transfer market. Granted, it was a tough market because we got it going so late. But that's 3 or 4 guys, I think, that have had either missed a whole season or portions of a season that we've brought in, and we've already lost one of them for the season. So, Faulkner, one of those guys who's injury prone. Jaden Booth moving up to D1. Who knows what the toll on the body is going to be? It just seems like durability is a big question mark for this team. And it's a long season, and the SoCon is a physical conference. So that is probably the biggest concern. Probably more so than watching I have full faith that Lenny's going to implement the system he wants to utilize. I got full faith that the guys will, by the end of the season, look like a Lenny Acuff team. But how limited is that going to be if we get a couple guys hurt? And that's worrisome.
Yeah, you can't afford any more injuries. The way, like, if he mentioned, if you cut down their rotation and JD does end up redshirt, you cut down the rotation to 7 or 8. That's one guy down where JD he got to burn that redshirt and have just another guy in the wing, depending who would potentially knock on wood, may or may not get hurt. But I mean, yeah, one injury. You're basically one more injury away from being, oh gosh, where do we go from here? Especially Dylan played 13 games last year, like you mentioned, the broken foot. Jaden Booth was hurt a couple years ago, but he had a full season last year, played every game. So yeah, you're going to need some durability, and especially now with the deeper bench we've seen in the past, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see what that smaller bench with the guys playing more minutes, what kind of toll that does kind of take on your guys.
But the other caveat, we had a deeper bench in year 3 with Bucky and year 4. because he had the couple years to get his freshmen, his younger transfers in there to start developing, sitting on the bench, playing 8 minutes a game, whatever. Acuff hasn't had that opportunity yet. So, I mean, it sucks that this year could be pretty tough. But I do think on paper, he has set it up to pick up where we left off. Like at the moment, no reason to think that we won't be top 4 in the SoCon. No reason to think that, or not to think that. And as far as the non-con, anybody have any other comments on the roster? Because I want to talk. Grant, I love that you pulled up the RPI of the prior year of our non-con schedule. So, anyone have any comments on the roster before we go on to the schedule?
I just want to touch on a couple of stats for some guys that I hadn't touched before. Just guys, potential starters. Keaton Norris last year in 30 minutes per game averaged 7 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, shot 44% from the field, 46% from 3. Jaden Booth in 36 minutes at Florida Southern last year, 21 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, 39% from 3, 44%. We talked about before the 40-point game he had against Noah Southeastern that caught Lynn's attention. So just kind of a couple of those guys. Faulkner, 15 games played 17.5 minutes, and averaged 10 and 5, shooting 60% from the field. Lenny did say he's added a 3-point shot. We'll see how much of a factor that is. You just got to at least kind of be honest and kind of show it a little bit. Maybe they can stretch the floor a little bit. And that's where kind of Jackson Pollard will come in, the 6'7" transfer from Queens. Shot 40% from 3 last year in 17 minutes per game. So he'll have a lot of those threes on the outside with Faulkner in the middle. And if Faulkner can add a little bit of a 3, that just expands his game even more for a guy who could, if he puts it all together in those 15 games like he did last year, that's definitely a SoCon Player of the Year favorite. So
I wanted to ask before we move on. So anybody but Grant, since you wrote the article, if we've got a game where either Faulkner or Booth are struggling to score, where do you think our points come?
That's a good question.
Where do we think our
points come from?
Oh, points.
The first half of that game, Booth wasn't shooting well. He kind of heated up in the second half, but the first half, I think they did a good job of kind of evenly distributing the points, but I'm just curious. I don't know that we have a certified score outside of those two guys.
I mean, Cam Martin, maybe. I mean, that brings up another point, Mike. So I talked about how we were kind of bargain shopping based on injuries. We're also bargain shopping based on inexperience. Got a lot of guys who are a little bit younger, didn't get a lot of playing time, therefore don't have a lot of stats, more of an unknown commodity. I mean, because you start looking at some of these guys' average points, and I mean, it's like 1 point, 2 points. It's a good question, Mike.
There's not a lot of
the scorer.
Historical stats or data on a few guys.
You'd hope so. Those guys
Shaver,
make a
for example, right?
Jump,
Yeah, so maybe there's a guy that makes a jump, averages 15 points a game. I don't know. That'd be sweet.
It could be Zion. The Cam Martin
Could
kid,
be.
he's going to be a sophomore.
Zion.
Could be Caleb Harrison. I mean, that's what stinks about losing like a Lucas Walls is like that kid is just going to get even better, and he'd be the answer to your question this year.
Yeah.
He's going to give
I
you
think
the 10 points
Bjornstad,
that you struggle to get elsewhere,
Yeah, Bornstead, Jeb, he's more of a proven commodity.
Yeah, that's kind of where I would sit if I had to give an answer to that.
Yeah, I like that.
Mike, I had that same question. Yeah, I have that same question, especially losing Dejan, a 35% three-point shooter last year. Cam Bard's going to have to pick up the slack, especially if he is coming off the bench as kind of the first guy off the bench when it comes to that guard kind of wing spot before you get to Zion. Again, Zion would be really awesome if the shot is there, then Zion just becomes that guy. So we'll see who it ends up being. But yeah, that is the main question. Where the injury depth, 1, and then 2, where the tough points are going to come from if, like you said, Jaden and Dylan aren't involved as much in the game.
Because obviously it's going to be a long season if a score other than the 2 guys we think are going to carry the load does not, develop.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about the non-con. And yeah, we talked about the non-conference schedule a couple of weeks ago. We didn't really talk about the conference schedule. Grant, you also highlighted a really tough stretch on that, so we'll hit that. But you wrote last year, Tulane, first game of the season. They were 144th in the Ken Palm last season. So basically, upper echelon SoCon school or upper half SoCon school. Basically 150 to 100 is basically a good competitive SoCon team. Below 100 is a very good conference contender. Presumably, Tulane will be about the same. Hard to say that they would make a giant jump. Probably won't make a giant drop. So, seems like a pretty good litmus test of where the team is exactly in this moment. But the nice thing about this schedule is, Tulane will give you a nice little test, as I said, as far as where we probably would stack up in the SoCon if conference play started today. And then we get breaks, Texas Southern, Central Arkansas. Texas Southern was 278th. Central Arkansas, 349th. Georgia State, 262nd. So a couple of reprieves. Outside of that, though, fairly good challenge in the non-con, considering all the challenges it takes to get these teams on the schedule. Florida Gulf Coast was 179th. South Carolina State, 192nd, a little bit worse. But then New Mexico State was 134th. Utah Valley, 112th. Cornell, 129th. And then you have the tougher games, VCU, Arkansas. So I would say pretty balanced. We should know or have a good feeling of what kind of team we are after seeing them play the schedule.
Yeah, especially those kind of back to back. After you get back from Cancun, you're at VCU on the 5th of December, and then you got that Cornell return game at home. So yeah, will be interesting to see coming off that kind of. You'll at least have a week off where you have to play those two back to back. But yeah, those we'll see how Samford can kind of fares at those two, as those the last two big tests before you get to start SoCon play.
Yeah, I like that. Going on the road, tough environment, good team, a place that we should have won 2 years ago or last year. Was it? I think it was 2 years ago.
No, it was last year.
VCU 2 years ago, then Cornell last year. Cornell, yeah.
Cornell was last year. Yeah.
And then we get 2 warm-ups. So challenge, warm-up, Christmas break, and then boom, on the road at VMI, easing into conference play. But then 2 days later at UNCG. So I like how that early stretch of the conference, late stretch of the non-conference shakes out, especially if we're playing good ball. I mean, we could have built some serious momentum. But Grant, talk about the stretch you identified of tough I mean, I agree. It's the window that looks pretty daunting at the moment.
Yeah, we kind of had the same thing last year where it was like the same 4 games. You had those combined in a stretch. It was like Chattanooga, ETSU, Furman, and UNCG. You played those 4 in like January and then February. We kind of just talked about those as kind of the points. Okay, this is where it's going to make or break Samford's season. Then you have kind of the same stretch, although this is actually in January as opposed to February. On the January 10th, you're at Chat. So you go at Chat, home against Furman, home against ETSU, at Wofford, home against Chat, then at Furman. So you get both of your matchups done with Furman and Chat, and that Furman game out on the road is going to be another national TV game on CBS Sports Network like it was last year. Furman opening up their new arena. See what it looks like. Again, you played the top 3 teams I would have above the tiers ahead of Samford with Chattanooga, Furman, and ETSU. You get both of those. So I think that stretch obviously is where it's going to not make or break your season because you have the whole month of February, but that's definitely the number one thing that kind of brought the attention to my eye looking at the SoCon schedule.
It's a test for sure. And importantly, that the at Furman game is a Thursday game. So you get a little bit longer break after Chattanooga, but you turn right around on Saturday playing Western on the road. That's not easy.
Yeah, and then it lightens up once you get to February, which is where you kind of hope you're playing your best ball once you get to Asheville. Yeah, we think it lightens up. Yeah,
like, maybe a Mercer. I mean, because SoCon John had said that Mercer was a potential dark horse. I mean, Wofford hopefully is going to be terrible in the situation they're in, but outside of
that, John, I did get John's order of finish prediction. Should probably get an article written out that just lists out everyone's, but he has Mercer finishing at 8, so in the league.
Yeah. So not a lot of gumption behind his, or confidence behind his prediction, but Dark horse nonetheless from SoCon John. Can't take it lightly.
Yeah, and once you hit
I
that
do-
last Furman game you talked about, you go at Western, Citadel, Mercer, Wofford, those next 3 at home. So you can go on a nice little stretch there before you have to go to ETSU on Valentine's Day.
Sam, you were kind of talking about this earlier, but like us starting out with Tulane, a relatively comparable school in terms of power ranking in the college basketball world, just like who we play, like Furman, right, or UTC.
Right.
South Carolina State, Texas Southern, like by week or by our third game, we'll have, like you said, a good idea, kind of like maybe what the identity is going into Arkansas. Playing like a strong team and then having a couple. Yeah, exactly.
Like if we're balling, if we come out and we beat Tulane and then we whack South Carolina State and Texas Southern, Arkansas, it doesn't matter what's going to happen. We're going to lose by 30. But if we look really good, it's like, okay, look, we may win the SoCon this year. If we look bad against Tulane and we get wins, but it's struggle, you still don't know we're going to be bad. But I think it just lowers your initial expectations.
But I am excited about the Utah Valley VCU Cornell stretch.
Yes.
I think that's my favorite. Like
the VCU game is going to be awesome.
There's actually a guy I went to grad school with that went to Utah Valley, and he was already sending me beef on Instagram about that matchup.
I love it.
I thought it was great.
Okay, that's another tight turnaround. VCU to Cornell. So I guess we're flying back on Friday night because we have a Friday night game in Richmond and then a Sunday night game in Birmingham.
Did we not play
VCU Christmas sweaters
in Richmond last year
for the Cornell game?
I think it was 2 years ago. Here, let me
check. We went there 2 years ago. That was the stretch here. Yeah, because we played Purdue in the opener. Shout out Dallas Graziani, 4 inches every day, and then VCU
and lost 98-45. And then we lost.
That's right. I was thinking
VCU
last year
75-65.
We lost to Cornell and then lost to VCU, and both of those games were pretty close. So
we went Cornell, Rhodes College, and then that crazy game at North Alabama. Did that guy transfer to A&M?
He's gonna be Bucky's point guard. Yeah, Jakari Lane.
Yeah. And then the good old Texas Southern game, and then the very tight Michigan State game.
So close to winning that one too. Just couldn't get any shots to fall at the second half. Well, Michigan State was one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country, and they found a way to. Yes. Yeah, they found a way to get it done, which is why they need a trade for this year.
That was the big game that got away. That would have been the biggest win in school history by far. I mean, Arkansas could be that this year. Calipari, his teams are known not to get going until the tournament,
That's
and
true.
then even then they don't turn it on. So who knows?
Think about this. You're playing basketball at Bryan College, right? And then you're coming to Birmingham to play the Samford Bulldogs. That's kind of fun if you're playing at Bryan.
Where is
for you to go play in the Pete? It's in Tennessee, I think.
It's a private Christian school in Tennessee.
Oh, in Dayton.
Yeah. Where is Dayton?
Where they had the Scopes monkey trial. North of Chattanooga.
Anyway, you know how it's always exciting for us to go play
It's the
Arkansas,
equivalent for Bryan.
At Arkansas or some other big school. It's like when for Bryan, it's like pretty cool to go play Samford,
It will be cool if we can show out. However, a noon game on a Monday is odd.
Yeah, no one's going to be there.
What's up with that? What's up with a noon game on a Monday?
Grant will be there.
What's up with a noon game on a Friday? Is the 15th Christmas break?
Grant will be at work Monday.
Take your lunch at the Pete Hanna.
I am like 15
remote from the bleachers.
Yeah, I am like 15 minutes away, so I could pop over and pop back. But yeah, Reinhardt, we'll see what that one.
I feel like we've done that a couple times, but
like last year did we have
usually with those like multi-theme events, not just a random Monday game.
Yes. Yeah. We had a 3:00 in the MTE against Merrimack on a Friday.
Yeah.
We had a 1 p.m. Tuesday game at Valparaiso. What is
I remember that one. Yeah, I watched that one at lunch. I remember that one. Yeah.
I mean, other than that, though, everything was
So
a,
does
was a
Blake call
night
those
game or a
games that
weekend.
are like in the middle of the day?
Yeah, how do they
I
get
don't know who you're talking about. Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yeah.
Okay, we also played Valparaiso 2 years ago at 2:00 on Wednesday in Birmingham. So it's not unprecedented, but it's weird. Don't like it. Let's
At least we
stop.
don't have
It
a
is
home.
strange, but it's the week before Christmas, and it's
Yeah.
At least we don't have a home game during the Iron Bowl. Shout out all those people that had in the past, where it's like, oh yes, Sanford plays at 3:00 on that Saturday. It's like, well, that's dumb. No one's gonna be there.
No,
So-
but the Iron Bowl in Alabama is one of my favorite times because nothing's happening. There's no traffic anywhere. It's awesome. It's like the whole state goes quiet.
See if DJ Durkin can get a win for the boys over there in that play.
They scored 3 points against Kentucky.
That was tough. Yep. Yeah, Kentucky had more sacks than Auburn had points in that game. It's not good.
As this devolves into an Auburn football conversation, which no one wants to hear. It's about as awful as
How
our
did we
football
get here?
conversation.
John
Should be a good
Summerall.
potential Sanford
That's who it's got to be.
coach.
Anyway,
He's got that experience at Liberty. Yeah, why not?
Hugh Freeze, he's a
Liberty
one
is-
values
is
violation.
A morally I can't even. Yeah, I can't even.
Morally bankrupt institution. But hey, guys, I want to ask you before we get out off of our basketball preview, because I think we've hit on every a nice overall summary. Mike, you kind of asked this: who would be our third scorer? But who's a guy outside of Faulkner and Booth that you're most excited to watch? Maybe like your preseason favorite player, Jeb. Who we got?
Booth.
No, other than Faulkner and Booth, those guys don't count. Get out of here.
Shaver, because I'm a homer.
No, I like it. Dude looks like he could be a lot of fun to watch in the SoCon.
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
I mean,
I
that's the
think
other
he's
thing,
gonna
guys.
wreck.
Who's a UAB who's a good basketball program in a tougher conference?
Remember that
All
one
right, so you're gonna
kid
get a lot
from
of PT,
Baylor?
whatever. Come to the SoCon, baby.
Not to burst y'all's bubble twice on this topic.
Yeah, he
but
sucked. Lovelace or Lovelady or. Yeah, but Mike, that's different. Those were
This is what
7-footers
Mike
who were
does.
not
Loveday was a
athletic, who couldn't
4-star
move, who
recruit
got
out of high
enamored with their
school.
size.
No, this is.
Yes, because he
All right,
was
we'll see.
7 whatever.
We'll see.
I guarantee
I
you
hope
he
you
would
like
be a
watching the
4-star
bench,
if he was
Jeb.
6'10".
that's Baylor national champion Zach Loveday to you.
What was the nickname we used to have
For
for
me?
you?
For Mike?
Yeah, where he's always, he's always playing it down. He's
I
like,
didn't
I
know that
don't
was a
know,
nickname.
man.
It's been behind my back.
No, Mike always thinks he's Mr. Positive. Mike
I'm
thinks
so
you
Mike-
and I
no,
bring
Mike
it down.
is the
Jeff.
Debbie Downer. No, we're not bringing it down. I have been complaining a lot.
There it
on
is,
the
yeah.
podcast recently. I'll admit.
There's
A lot to complain about.
He hasn't been much to
There's
cheer
been a lot
about, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
We got our
but
basketball coach left. Our football coach thinks Sanford's a retirement community where results don't matter and you can mail it in each week. So yeah, there's a lot to complain about.
Sam, my pick is Judson Bornstead.
Yeah.
But
I hope
Anyway,
I'm
Mike,
wrong too,
well,
Jack.
I hope you're wrong, Mike.
Yeah,
There you
he's
go.
smooth.
all right, Mike's rolling with
he's got.
Bornstead.
I think he might.
Yeah.
He might win us a couple games. A couple of those games where nothing else is clicking, and he's kind of the guy that's gluing.
Yeah.
He's the glue guy for those games.
Kind of like what Brownell
Yeah,
did
maybe.
at the beginning
I was
of the
thinking
season.
maybe like a Lucas Walls. Like, Lucas brings the energy every game.
Okay.
He's never going to be a 15, 20-point scorer. I mean, I don't know. Bornstead could be. I don't know. I like what I saw in the exhibition game. Got a great name.
No, that'd be sick. And he's got a good name.
Yeah, Bornstad's sick.
So Jeb has the tat guy from North Carolina. Mike's got Bornstead. Grant, who we got? Is a tattoo a values violation?
No, we've had other things happen.
Are you serious?
Dude, I don't know. There's a lot in
No,
that
it's
book,
not.
all right?
No, this isn't.
I
don't even know where to go with that one.
Like, we could be stacking up values violations as alums, with this podcast.
I don't think that's how it works. We're not customers of the university anymore.
Oh, sorry. I was going to just do something.
Grant, who's your pick? While we wait on Mike to get back here.
I really want to say Campbell Finch. I think he's going to turn out to be a really good player when it's all said and done. Lenny likes him a lot.
Finch.
But I think I'm going to lead Zion as my kind of guy. We'll see where the offense. So we'll see the offense comes from, how it grows, but he'll make some names. He'll make some gains on the defensive end. We'll see where the offense comes from. But I do like Zion's potential in this system.
Okay, so Campbell Finch, to remind myself, is the freshman signee that signed with Bucky that's staying with us, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's got to be Zion. Like, Zion's got to be our guy, Caleb or Zion. Because how fun would it be to have a Bucky recruit who committed truly to Samford, as they both stay the only ones, become kind of the glue, the core, the go-to guys on the team. Might not be at the beginning of the season, but it would not surprise me if we got to the end and they're starting every night. And that would be awesome for our depth, because I think that the guys we have as your projected starting 5 grand are pretty good, assuming everyone stays healthy.
Yeah, you've got at the top level guys when it comes to Jaden and Dylan, 2 guys who were on the preseason All SoCon team who could definitely find themselves on the postseason SoCon team. So you've got those guys at the top. Again, as we talked about, what does that depth kind of look like off the bench? It can board stack, kind of provide that offensive punch that Dejan would have had.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Grant, go ahead and share that picture I just sent of Shaver with Sean May, North Carolina royalty.
Sean May?
Yeah, Sean May.
Who is Sean May?
He's been an assistant coach for the Heels for actually, I don't know. I mean, it's been a while, like years now.
Okay.
But he was on the Ray Felton, I think it was 2005.
Who is Ray Felton?
National championship team, 2005.
Who's Ray Felton?
You don't remember Ray Felton? Raymond Felton?
The name's vaguely.
Dave the guard.
Okay. Headband?
No.
There you go, Jeb.
No, he may have worn one.
That's Ray Felton.
No,
this is Sean May.
That's
Sean
May.
Look at that defense, though. You're not getting a ball in there. That's for sure.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it was Ray Felton, Sean May, Wes Miller.
It's Sean May with some extra
Williams.
LBs, that's for sure.
You remember Marvin Williams? No. Oh,
sorry.
Play for the Hornets. Yeah, I got you, Jeb. I know your name. These names are coming from. So yep, I got you.
I'm excited for
anyway.
He slipped through the cracks when I was reading your article, Grant. We have some fun. Here's the other thing, guys. And I know we said this if you go back probably 3 to our first basketball preview, where we were talking about the young core when Lucas was a freshman or an incoming freshman. And, talking about, oh, man, just imagine the 2025 season when they're all juniors. It seems like there's some pieces that Lenny's brought in and retained where it might not be this year, but next year could be awesome. We'll see. A lot of young pieces, which is nice. It's not like the football team necessarily where we've been accustomed to getting like a guy with 1 year left and he balls out, but he's gone. There seems to be like Lenny could build something. Hopefully it's not just a 1 year tryout for these cats who are trying to move on, but that's always a risk.
Yeah, it's a good depth of guys that can grow up in the system with a guy like a Jaden Booth who's coming in for his last year can provide a lot of your scoring. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
All right, just for fun, SoCon regular season predictions. Where does Samford finish? I don't really care about anyone else. Where do we finish?
Yeah, third feels good.
I was going to say third or fourth. Yeah. No, look, the floor is 6, although I think 5 is probably the more realistic floor. But yeah, anywhere third or fourth would be good.
Floor is 6th, ceiling 2nd.
Yeah, that's fair.
Third,
that sounds fair. Yeah.
Jeb, when you throw third out,
why second? Like, why not? If we could get second, why can't we win the whole thing?
Because we can. I said SoCon regular season. I do think that Furman and UTC start ahead of us. So they already have a leg up. And I just don't know if we can catch them. Maybe by the last week of conference season, we're rolling as good as they are, but I just can't say that yet,
So you're saying like we could win, like we finished top 4, we could win the tournament.
Yeah.
SoCon.
Because we're starting with a new coach and basically a whole new team. We're starting way more in the unknown than some of these other teams.
Here's my perspective on that. Like, I'm not saying we're going to win the regular season or anything. I think it's more likely we get 6th than 1st. But
For sure.
Like
for sure.
we're bringing in an experienced coach who's bringing in his best player from his former school, and he's also bringing in a couple of guys that he had already had committed to his school
Yeah.
before he left. So it's not like what Bucky's doing at A&M where he's just having to build a roster from the ground up. Like he kind of already had a roster built. It was just bringing guys from Lipscomb to Samford. Furman's lost some of its best players. UTC's lost its 2 best players plus some. So all these teams are rebuilding. I don't know how much of a leg up really Furman and UTC are going to get from a continuity perspective. Like I feel like Samford is going to be ahead of the game compared to like a normal first year coach. That's just my perspective on it. I
That's
could
a
be
good point.
way
No, that's
off,
a good
but
point.
Yeah,
No,
Bucky kind of mentioned that a little bit too with us. Yeah, Bucky kind of mentioned that us too. Like he's got some continuity, like you said, Mike, to those pieces with his whole staff kind of over from Lipscomb. Then you add his son Will into that mix. So you have the staff, you have the players. Yeah, there is a good mix of somewhat continuity while he has in a whole new spot. But again, those pieces like Mike mentioned. So
for the record, SoCon John has us finishing 4th.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could
Right
see.
there.
convenient to not
between-
share that with us when he was with us last week.
I could see a slew of results. I don't see us finishing lower than 6th. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe 7th if injuries are just plaguing us and the wheels fall off the wagon. Because at a certain point, I mean, if you don't have a team out there, you're not going to win. But 6th feels like a healthy floor.
Yeah, I thought Mike was going to do his Jake Taylor impression from Major League. There's only one thing left to do: win the whole bleeping thing. That's what we're going to do.
That's what we're going to do in soccer. So, boys, let's get to some of the other sports. Women's soccer. It's Sunday the 2nd. This is dropping tonight ahead of our Tulane game on Monday. It's going to be pretty hype. But women's soccer today clinched a spot in the SoCon Championship next Sunday against Mercer, winning 3-2 on a penalty kick in the second overtime against Furman. Furman stormed back after being down 2-0, but the ladies hung on and got Coach Yelton his 300th victory. Guys, 300 wins in anything is awesome.
That's impressive.
It's insane. I mean,
Dude,
dude
I don't
is
think
a
I've
living
won
legend.
300 things in my life.
Yeah, no. Right.
Maybe
300
maybe
Tarkov matches.
I haven't played that in forever. Also, years. Probably 300 fantasy matchups.
yeah.
Yeah,
You are a king in fantasy, Jeb. But I mean, guys, when you listen to Coach Yelton's post game, you just know that's what a championship coach sounds like. Like he is all about, in the moment, overcoming the adversity, coming together, playing as a team. He recruits top end talent for the SoCon, makes them play at a high level, demands a certain standard, no matter the opponent. And he's been here 24 years?
Yeah.
Something like that. Dude's an absolute dog. And we should have
300 wins in 24 years. That's not as impressive as I thought.
We should have had him on the pod.
I'm just kidding. He's obviously a
long time
legend.
ago.
He's probably, I mean, everybody in the Southeast knows about Samford soccer, which is quite impressive for the size of the school.
Yeah, then you add on everything he's been through off the field. Like he's still on the grind no matter what, losing his wife. His field is named after his wife, Shauna. They have Shauna's game every year. It's like you add in the stuff off the pitch to stuff on the pitch, and the magic is still there. Obviously, 300 wins and multiple SoCon titles.
Yeah, so they play 18 or 17 regular season games. So let's just do some quick math. 300 divided by 24, 12 and a half wins a season. Dude,
that's pretty impressive.
An insane record.
Considering you can also have a draw in soccer, that's pretty impressive.
No, it is. It's honestly stupid how good.
Yeah, and with this year's team, they now extended the school record with now 16 games on an unbeaten streak. That's a new 15 was a new school record. 16 made 16 today. Can make it 17 with Mercer next week. So yeah, you add in his 300th win, and then this year the 16 match unbeaten streak. Haven't lost since they played Alabama in August.
I mean, that's
what was our result against Mercer first game this season?
Ooh, good question.
It wasn't a loss.
We beat them 3-0 on the road.
And the SoCon game will be it's in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, Sunday 1:00.
Yeah, and it helped that Mercer took down Western, the 2 seed in the semifinals, who Samford drew with. Obviously, played last year in the title game, so Samford gets a reprieve right there with Mercer getting that win. Sam, I can play Yelton's a post game.
Oh yeah, do it because it's
Yeah,
great.
great.
It's a great
Comments,
response.
You had to go to double overtime to do it, but you get the win to advance to the finals again. Just your thoughts on the game.
I'll say the same thing I said about Wofford. I mean, first, congrats to Furman for having a fantastic year, Matt. And to his team was really, really good. It took a lot of resilience today to find a way to get a win, especially against playing a man down. And I couldn't be more proud of my kids and really my seniors, because to win on days like today, there has to be a bit of senior leadership, and that's what they did such a fantastic job.
We said your 300th win at Samford. Just what does that make you feel when you hear that?
Makes me feel like I hired really good assistants. Thankful for a school that took a chance on me a long time ago. He'd let me be a part of such an amazing university with a lot of pretty fantastic people. And then the kids I've got to coach, right? High character kids who go on in this world to be like amazing people in all facets of life. So, that's a lot of water under the bridge right there, I guess.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing
We
else
need to
to
get
say
him
on the
on.
podcast.
Do we know his story before Samford?
They have his bio. I've read it a few times, but I can't remember. But I did pull up Mercer's path to the SoCon Championship. So they're the 6th seed. They beat ETSU, who was the 3 seed, 2-1 in the quarters, and then today beat Western, who was the 2 seed, 1-0 in 2 overtime. So both semifinal games go into double overtime. Mercer, the 6th seed, it should be a good win. It should be. I mean, look, Mercer's obviously feeling good. Anything can happen in a championship, but beating a team 3-0, we should feel pretty good about Sunday.
So he coached at UAB and then was the head coach at Oglethorpe University.
Right
in
down the street,
Atlanta.
baby.
Yeah, did some high school coaching as well, but before that, then came to Samford.
Yeah, Jeb,
There you go.
what year did he come here?
I think 2002.
Yeah, 2002.
I don't know. It's 24 plus.
So 23 years. So his average is even higher than 12.5, because I was divided by 24.
I mean, first of all, it's pretty sweet to have a coach that's been
Yeah.
with the school for 23 years. Like,
Oh, for
that's amazing.
You would think we got to get
That's
him
what
on,
you want.
because he certainly had opportunities to go coach really probably whatever level he wanted to coach. I mean, when you just win like that.
Like, obviously,
He's seen a lot,
Sanford's invested in that program, and it's been a steady winner for a while now, but like I'm sure it was a grind back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like a small school in Alabama women's soccer
soccer.
team.
Just soccer.
Like
in
he's
general.
right.
We were in the OVC back then, but he was all right. So we were OVC regular season champions in 2003. So like his second
Didn't
year,
take
like
long.
he's winning. Yeah, it
I'm
didn't
telling
take
you,
that
the
long.
guy's a machine. All he
Yeah,
does
he needs to
is
come on the
win.
pod.
All he does
Yeah.
is win. I mean, obviously, it's tough to get to win the conference tournament every year, but because I think he has way more regular season championships than tournament championships. But that's
What was he at eight in a row 2 years ago when they lost to
Yeah.
Western?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I think 8 though. Feels
Yeah,
right.
maybe. It was a lot.
His highest finish, our highest finish is what, the second round in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, we've won a first round game. Probably the only Samford sport to win a first round game. Because
Football
baseball's never made
yeah.
it to the supers.
Football technically did, if you count, because they had a bye
No,
before
that
they played
doesn't count.
Southeast
That doesn't
Louisiana.
count. That doesn't
That's a
count.
playoff game. It's a playoff game.
It is a playoff game, but it's not a
It's not an
national
FBS playoff game.
Yeah.
That's a playoff game with your
But
backup
you're right.
quarterback.
All right,
So.
here, we'll take it. We'll take it. That's
No, we're not taking that. That's ridiculous. We're not taking that. Oh, we've probably won an NIT game too. Does that count?
We won a
the
CBI
refs-
game. I don't count those.
We
No.
have not won an NIT game.
If they didn't blow that whistle in Utah, then it would have probably been
Correct.
the other team. But
whatever. Yeah, we got to get Coach Yelton on. Dude seems like an incredible. I mean, he's obviously an incredible individual, but he's also an incredible coach. Any other comments on women's soccer before we hit volleyball? Before we hit our illustrious football team?
Championship game next Sunday at 1:00 local time against Mercer. So
let's get it
at home at Samford. So yeah, there you go.
301. Here we come. All right, volleyball. We went 0-2 this past week. Lost to ETSU 3-1 on Halloween night, and then got swept by Wofford. We have UTC Western up this week at home. ETSU remains undefeated in conference at 12-0. Wofford in second at 9-3. Furman 8-4. UTC 7-5. UNCG 7-5. Mercer 4-8. Samford 4-8. Western 3-9. And Citadel 0-12. Boys, football continues to lose. We lost 16-26 against Wofford in probably the ugliest possible football game in Samford history. You ready for this, boys? We rushed for 19 yards. Now, that's net. That includes 30 yards of sacks. We threw 4 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes. We picked it off, got it within the 10, and got stuffed and had to settle for a field goal. We held Wofford to 80 passing yards and lost.
It feels eerily similar to the ESPN Saturday night game on ABC last night. Does it not?
No.
He had a defensive touchdown. People win homes. Like his home team won that one. We had defensive touchdown, some interceptions. Interceptions. Yeah.
The first half, OU Tennessee 16-10 with the scoop and score and 40 yards on offense. Yeah.
First half at least.
But to watch 2 halves of this, and Quincy comes in, and unfortunately, the new classic Quincy executes the offense well enough, but doesn't score. Doesn't throw 4 picks, but doesn't score. I don't disagree. I know we were texting about this, about the punt with 5 minutes, 6 minutes to go down 10. Wofford's offense was anemic. They had their second best drive of the game after that punt. I don't hate it. The defense was playing well. Best defensive game, as Coach Hatcher said, by far. I think we've gotten 15 sacks on the year, and I think we got 5 sacks in that game. So that feels okay.
But you're one play away from being in field goal range, right? I mean, weren't we in positive
on the 48
plus territory? And that's not the first time that he's kind of thrown the white flag.
No, all year
when the game wasn't over.
No, you know how coaches have the red challenge flag? Hatcher carries around the white flag, and when he tosses it out there, the opponent knows that it's signed, sealed, and
we don't play a full 60 minutes at Stanford. We play 56, 57.
We don't sign up for 60. We sign up for 52.
We were lucky to have a winning season. We won 6 games. Was it 2 years ago? We won 4 games last year. Not good. And I have been working on the assumption that next year is the last year of his contract. I think it's 2027. It could be January of 2027 though.
27 is the last year of the current deal, but you can't run this back if you go 1-11.
Yeah, I did look at the Samford annual report.
Got a young team if everybody comes back, maybe.
I did look at the Samford annual report. We have enough money to afford whatever Hatcher's buyout is.
Yeah, Texas A&M's paying half of it.
Yes. I think my biggest gripe, guys, is there's no strategy. I don't think he knows how to operate in the portal era effectively. He obviously has whiffed on his quarterback evaluation, which is his bread and butter, which is what the only reason that can make his offense work. He is stuck with his offensive line coach, despite the fact our offensive line has sucked for. If he's been here 15 years, it's been bad 12. So I don't know. There's no hope. There's no hope.
Have we talked about or questioned Sanford's commitment from a funding perspective to the football program, from an NIL perspective?
No, but it's a fair question. It's a fair question.
We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and obviously we've invested heavily in basketball, given Bucky being there.
Right.
Are we doing enough to support, whether it's Hatcher or somebody else, a successful football program in the portal era?
Probably
I don't
not.
know that we've really talked about that. Yeah.
Probably not. If I had to guess, look, a little sleazy, but if I were the administration and I knew that Hatcher's one-off year was a true aberration from his career trajectory of programs, I might bank it and wait for the next coach and then deploy resources, as opposed to just flushing money down the drain in a system that doesn't work.
Unless that just sets you back even further.
No, that's
I
not
don't know.
logical. I don't think it's. Yeah, no.
I think you can find a young, energetic coach. I mean, Mike James at Mercer's built a freaking national championship contender at Mercer overnight. He's the Kurt Signetti of FCS.
Google him.
He just wins.
I don't know.
But no, Mike, there's no way we're spending that much or as much as we should.
What happened to Stover? Is he hurt?
I don't know. Good point.
Gillingham is not good, and we can't run the ball. This is the worst offensive line I've ever seen in my life. It's honestly not even close. I mean, all right, here you go.
Could we beat the best high school in the country?
No.
Okay.
No. A few interesting stats.
We couldn't beat Sam's high school football team, and they were terrible.
Oh, you couldn't beat my current high school football team, but Samford could beat my high school football team.
Especially if Gravity's out there left tackle, like DN's going by getting sacks all night long.
We did have good tackles.
Well, your current high school football team is spending more on their roster than our current football team is.
Correct. Absolutely correct. But a few interesting stats. These are going to blow your mind if you aren't already disappointed in the season.
How interesting are we talking?
Out of 28 red zone trips, which honestly impressed that we've had 28 red zone trips. We've turned it over 6 times. We've scored a touchdown 10 times.
4? Oh, 10? Oh, okay. Wow, look at that.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah.
Like that is to turn it over 6 times, only get a touchdown 10 times. On the flip side,
we've scored 10 touchdowns this season. Over 10 touchdowns.
Here we go, baby. Yeah, there we go. That's the standard. 70 dadgum points. 20. This is just the red zone, Mike. 20. We've allowed 26 touchdowns on 38 attempts in the red zone and only forced 1 turnover. Basically, when teams get in the red zone, the only reason they're not scoring is if they miss a field goal. We're not stopping them on 4th down. We're not forcing turnovers. We're pretty much letting them in the end zone. Here's the worst stat I've ever seen about a football team.
It gets worse?
It's all won on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, no.
We have rushed for over 100 yards twice this year. Twice. We have allowed the opponent to do it in every single game.
I'm not clapping for that.
Like, that is so poor. It gets worse. We have tallied
Stop, please.
15 sacks and given up 41.
41 sacks.
41
Here, I have a question.
Sacks. The season turnover differential is negative 15.
Why are we still talking about football?
Why are we still playing football? Hatcher should throw the white flag at the kick. All right.
Maybe Lipscomb has the right idea of no football. They should do basketball.
I just It's depressing. Okay, football state of the SoCon. Wofford beat Samford 26-16. Citadel over VMI in the Battle of the Shaco 35-24. Mercer, I think that's back-to-back years for Citadel after Rocco beat him in his first year there. Mercer over Furman 52-28 in a statement victory. Western over UTC 35-28, setting up a huge game in Cullowhee this weekend. Mercer traveling to Western. We have ETSU at Samford, homecoming. Furman visiting Chattanooga. The Citadel gets to go to Oxford, Mississippi to take on the Rebs or the Black Bears, depending on your political persuasion. And then Wofford at VMI. Guys, the Mercer Western game is going to be awesome. Reddit FCS is praying for a Mercer dub because if Taryn Dickens balls out and Western wins, committee's going to have a tough time just putting one SoCon team in the playoffs. Standings as of today, Mercer and Western sitting there undefeated. Western at 6-0, or Mercer at 6-0, Western at 5-0. UTC's 3-2, Furman's 3-3, Citadel 3-3, ETSU 2-3, Wofford 2-3, Samford 1-6, and VMI 0-5. I don't know how we're 2 games.
Take that, VMI.
Two more conference games in Western and VMI, but whatever.
What's the view from down below us, VMI? What's that like?
Well, they're kind of like with us.
I don't know. 0-5 in a way looks better than 1-6 to me. It's like if you're gonna be that bad, just be winless.
That's our only win.
Guess what?
VMI. That's
it also looks better because guess what you could be when you're 0-5. You could be 2-5 after 2 weeks.
That is true. Bet you that won't happen, but it's possible.
Hey, look, they might actually beat Wofford. I mean, Wofford has the worst offense in the league. So, although we made them look semi-confident.
Good enough for 10-26 on us, which I guess they probably only scored 12 on offense.
I like the Texas A&M game is just going to, whatever the over is on total points, that's all going to be scored by A&M. Like, we're not scoring. Like, it's just, if it's like 46 points or 50 or 70, it's all being scored by A&M.
Stanford team totals like half a point.
Here's the sobering stat.
You have more?
In conference. So that's taking out the Baylor game and the West Georgia game and whatever other non-conference crap we've played. In conference play, through 7 games, we average 19 points a game. The opponent, 37.6. We're averaging an 18-point loss every single game.
I thought we averaged 15 points a game.
If there's a line that comes out that's less than 18, hammer it.
Stanford's given up an average of 38.5 points per game at home. And that includes Citadel and West Georgia.
It's so bad, boys. I mean, this is...
I don't know. Maybe we lessened A&M's buyout of Bucky's contract in exchange for them allowing us to cover when we play. You know, maybe there was something interesting in there.
Yeah, we read about the gambling scandal.
Yeah, not another gambling scandal.
Yeah, I'll file a records request to see what we can find.
Their NIL programs look no further than Las Vegas.
I don't know. I've heard that they're going to have a lottery in the portal. So if Stanford just keeps losing, they're going to have the best odds to get Cam Coleman next cycle. So we'll see. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, he's coming home, as he said when he committed to Auburn. The Auburn family, strong.
Thank goodness there's no like relegation or anything, because we would be like,
oh brother,
I don't know, shot somewhere down
deep,
just out of football. I don't know. You're not playing anymore.
8-man. We'd be shot down to 8-man Texas high school football.
We'd still allow 5 sacks a game.
Pop Warner.
I mean, I guess
down there playing
if
Pop
you wanted
Warner
to
games.
have a silver lining of hope for this football team, is that
Flag
we
football.
are young, with the exception of our skill guys. We are, and we have a few young receivers, but among both the offense and defense lines, we're young. We have some young playmakers in the secondary. Now, Hatcher has not proven that he can find the coaches to develop that talent, especially on the offensive line. But there is that we can hope for.
No, the hope is we have
Gotta
basketball tomorrow,
resign.
and next season might be better. That's the hope.
Yep.
It's the hope. It's the hope that kills you.
We do have basketball tomorrow, though. It's awesome. Tulane's
Thank
going
God.
down, baby.
Score prediction for tomorrow?
Ooh. 78-62 Tulane.
Ooh.
I think we're going to be rusty. I don't think we're going to be smooth.
Wow. I think 78 feels good for Tulane. I think like, let's say 71 for Sanford.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll go 75-68 Tulane.
72-60 Tulane.
I don't see the first game being that high scoring for either squad.
Yeah, let me pull up what we talked about before we jumped on what the line is tomorrow for that one. I don't know if we have it yet.
Booth is good for 30, right? Faulkner
Oh, yeah.
could at least get us 15. So
Okay, Mike, if Booth is putting up 30 in game one, we're beating Tulane.
yeah.
Tulane is favored by 6.5 tomorrow night.
Okay. So if they win,
7.5
it'll
Eastern
probably
Bet, yeah.
be by 10. And if we win, it'll probably be like 4.
That's right. Just glad basketball's here, so we don't have to talk about how many more sacks we can give up every week.
Basketball's here. We have homecoming this weekend. Basketball Friday night, football Saturday, women's soccer championship on Sunday, and volleyball on Thursday. So
What a week.
pretty loaded a week for the Dogs. Let's try to stack at the Dubs, baby. Starts with Tulane. We all predicted they would lose, but here's to winning.
Save us, Lenny, please. I beg you.
All right, with that, stay the Bulldogs
Lenny
out.
layups.
Hope everybody has a fantastic week. Let's beat ETSU.